It's time to fight. Hear everybody jumping. Dropship circle fast. Can't hear my heart a pumping. Frontline is the way. The ship floor opens up. It's time to lock and load. Game over, man. Wish me some luck. My comma's running fine. I hit you every time. This combat's always back. Come take it. Come take it home. I'm beating. Devil's calling. Grenades and rockets falling. Commanders leap to the sky. On this day I will die. To capture, come to destroy. I jump from every rooftop, my rockets are deployed. Call me the Dominator, a combat innovator. I'll be your liquidator, explosive detonator. Reload fast, hear the clip return to blast. Shields are reading magical, purple fire eating through you. On this day, all will die. Fires around, my shields can take a thumping. I'm running low on power, can't find a USB. I'm pressing buttons while the enemy runs over me. My shields can take a thumping. Vision read this ain't allowed. Can't find a USB. I'm pressing buttons while the enemy runs over me. My shields can take a thumping. Command this ain't allowed. On this day I will die.
Seven Commanders, and welcome in. I'm Commander Psyche, and with me, as always, is Oh no, wait, this is Lave Radio.
Is your life like this? It could be like this.
Astrogator tours. Put some excitement back in your life. Book an adventure in the Lave Business Directory. Now.
What?
Some ships don't feel the same. Some fights always go one way. Core Dynamics, bringing you strength, power, and performance. The chance to fight the good fight and to destroy the competition. From the Eagle to the Federal Corvette, we can offer you an advantage in every skirmish, every battle, and every single fight. Because we know how to win every time. For the Federation.
You're listening to Lave Radio, the hottest show this side of Diso. Listening to Lave Radio, the hottest show this side of Diso.
G'day, Commanders. When the munchies take a hold and the Starscape Vista appears before you, what better time? Here is Space and Biscuits by 12 Strings Inc., available on SoundCloud and presented to you via Lave Radio. Commander Strings out.
order a cup of tea. Yorkshire Gold, if you have it. Double Yorkshire Gold. And if you don't have it, you're dead. Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy. transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Have you been missold PPI? Python Protection Insurance was missold if you didn't want it, ask for it, or need it.
I was missold Python Protection Insurance and I got a claim worth 3,000 credits.
At Cowell & McGrath, we are ready to pursue claims for pilots who were sold PPI, even though they didn't have an escape pod.
When my partner's ship was destroyed, the insurance became invalid. I settled out of court for enough credits to restart my narcotics and weapons shipping business.
Millions have been missold Python Protection Insurance they can never claim, simply because they don't have an escape pod. Why should you pay for not reading the small print?
My husband was missold PPI. As a result of our claim, we now own Jupiter.
Cowell & McGrath, turning your carelessness into profitable lawsuits.
Simple elegance. Pure style. Inimitable glass. Exquisite taste. Deterrence. Wondrous flowing lines. This is more than a starship. At Gutenberg we don't just design. We grasp a way of life. We forge dreams in every curve. Fly with a sense of distinction. Fly with a sense of elitism. You are the best. Stand out from the rest and bask for the Empire.
Greetings, Commanders. This is T-The-Man speaking. Next up is a track of mine called Vikings of the North Sea. If you enjoy it and want to hear more of my music, please visit soundcloud.com/ttheman. Enjoy the show and have a good one.
could murder a cup of tea. Yorkshire Gold, if you have it. Double Yorkshire Gold. And if you don't have it, you're dead. Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy.
Choose life, choose a ship, choose a career, choose a cargo, choose a fucking big ship, choose palladium, gold and electrical tin openers. Choose good health, low cholesterol and ship insurance. Choose fixed interest loan repayments. Choose a space station. Choose your friends. Choose leisure wear and matching luggage. Choose a paint job and hire purchase in a range of f***ing colours. Choose decals, exploration and wondering where the f*** you are on a Sunday morning. Choose sitting in that chair, running mind-numbing, spirit-crushing trade routes, stuffing f***ing junk food in your mouth. And choose rotting away at the end of it all, pissing your last in the void with no one out there to hear you, bury or do anything as you drift away in cold space. Until some f***er comes along to steal your ship, your cargo and your clothes, leaving your bones floating out in space. Choose your future. Choose life. But why would I want to do a thing like that? I choose not to choose life. I chose something else. And the reasons? There are no reasons. Who needs reasons when you've got onion heads?
Dreams. Humanity's dreams. The hope to live among the stars. From early times, we've gazed up to the heavens and wondered if one day we could travel there. Maybe even live there. The Brewer Corporation has made this dream a reality. Constructing intricate cathedrals of metal, circling numerous planets across thousands of systems in our human bubble. Why stay rooted in a gravity well when you can be free in orbit, free to dream, free to live, and one day to become a commander and be free to blaze your own trail? Brewer Corporation, the first step into the unknown. Come join us. Be free.
My name is Dale Amasiri from Frontier Developments, and you're listening to Lave Radio.
Amid the stars in the sky, humanity expands and thrives as it pushes back the boundaries of the universe. From the luxury of the core systems to the harsh worlds of the frontier, men still fight. Some fight for survival or greed, some fight for a flag and others for retribution. But across the lonely darkness, they all share one aim: to be elite.
Escape Velocity, an Elite Dangerous audio adventure serial, written and produced by Christopher Jarvis. Episode 1, Unwelcome Cargo.
Countless are the tales of heroes from that age, told around mining colony campfires and huddled in the echoing cargo holds of the great freighters. Men still tell of the Empire's last great expansion, of whole worlds founded by the courage of a single prospector, of pirates and mercenaries who became the scourge of the spaceways. But few owe their existence to any as much as they do to one man, whose name has all but vanished from history. A man who came out of the dark systems and saved everybody, including me. Of his earlier years, little is known. My story with him begins on the first day of the last new century.
Happy New Year, pilot.
Welcome to Schneider Orbiter. Are you receiving me today, sir?
Oh, I hear you, OTC. Thank goodness something is still working on this bucket of bolts.
How may I serve you today, sir?
I'd like to request docking clearance, please, OTC. Merlin-class fighter, registration...
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid all our docking bays are currently full or reserved. Please redirect to an alternative port.
I'm having one or two mechanical difficulties at the moment. I need to request emergency docking clearance.
I'm afraid that's not possible, sir. All of our bays are full.
Yes, you said, but I'm really having some technical difficulties here, and I need to land now. My distance from you is 5,000 meters, closing rapidly.
Great. I've got myself a troublemaker. According to our scanners, your ship is a little beat up, but
Your systems do appear functional.
Excellent news. Perhaps you wouldn't mind explaining that to my ship, because it's not doing anything I'm asking it to. 4,000 meters. I just want to land.
If Sir will kindly redirect to the planet's surface, there is plenty of room at York City.
Look, Mr. Orbital Traffic Controller, my ship's systems are fried. Thrust controls aren't responding. Navigation systems are down. I really don't think I can make it to the planet's surface. My landing gear has only extended because I tried to send an SOS and that happened instead. Please give me docking clearance. 3,000 meters and closing.
All of our bays are full or allocated. You will have to redirect.
Then unallocate something. You don't seem to understand that my ship is in an uncontrolled approach to your station. All right, I'll try the retros. Oh, for
Unlawful discharge of a weapon is not permitted here.
Amid the stars in the sky, humanity expands and thrives as it pushes back the boundaries of the universe. From the luxury of the core systems to the harsh worlds of the frontier, men still fight. Some fight for survival or greed. Some fight for a flag and others for retribution. But across the lonely darkness, they all share one aim: to be elite.
Escape Velocity, an Elite Dangerous audio adventure serial written and produced by Christopher Jarvis. Episode 1, Unwelcome Cargo.
Countless are the tales of heroes from that age, told around mining colony campfires and huddled in the echoing cargo holds of the great freighters. Men still tell of the Empire's last great expansion, of whole worlds founded by the courage of a single prospector, of pirates and mercenaries who became the scourge of the spaceways. But few owe their existence to any as much as they do to one man, whose name has all but vanished from history. A man who came out of the dark systems and saved everybody, including me. Of his earlier years, little is known. My story with him begins on the first day of the last new century.
Welcome to Schneider Orbiter. Are you receiving me today, sir?
I hear you, OTC. Thank goodness something is still working on this bucket of bolts.
How may I serve you today, sir?
I'd like to request docking clearance, please, OTC. Merlin-class fighter, registration...
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid all our docking bays are currently full or reserved. Please redirect to an alternative port.
I'm having one or two mechanical difficulties at the moment. I need to request emergency docking clearance.
I'm afraid that's not possible, sir. All of our bays are full.
Yes, you said, but I'm really having some technical difficulties here, and I need to land now. My distance from you is 5,000 meters, closing rapidly.
Great. I've got myself a troublemaker. According to our scanners, your ship is a little beat up, but your systems do appear functional.
Excellent news. Perhaps you wouldn't mind explaining that to my ship, because it's not doing anything I'm asking it to. 4,000 meters. I just want to land.
If Sir will kindly redirect to the planet's surface, there is plenty of room at York City.
Look, Mr. Orbital Traffic Controller, my ship's systems are fried. Thrust controls aren't responding. Navigation systems are down. I really don't think I can make it to the planet's surface. My landing gear has only extended because I tried to send an SOS and that happened instead. Please give me docking clearance. 3,000 meters and closing.
All of our bays are full or allocated. You will have to redirect.
Then unallocate something. You don't seem to understand that my ship is in an uncontrolled approach to your station. All right, I'll try the retros.
Unlawful discharge of a weapon is not permitted here. 600 credits fine.
Hey, I wasn't trying to fire. My ship's computer is malfunctioning. You can't find me.
The law is clear, sir. Now please redirect to York City.
Look, I think we both have to accept that I shouldn't touch anything in the next 20 seconds. I could put the coffee machine on, but there's a good chance it will fire missiles at the OTC viewing pool. So either give me docking clearance or get ready to peel my craft off the side of your station. 1,000 meters.
Proximity alert. Proximity alert. Proximity alert.
Clearance granted. Proceed to Bay 2.
Thank you, Orbital Traffic Control. You do have automated docking systems, don't you?
Docking successful. Engines disengaged. Welcome to Schneider Orbital, your home away from home in the heart of the Delta Pavonia system. Shop, relax, and enjoy in one of our many shopping arcades. Need your ship service?
Which damned bucket of bolts? What did they do to you?
Command Thane?
Just Thane.
Please sign, citizen.
What in space is this?
It's a list of the offences you committed during your arrival here. All the fines are conveniently itemised for your records.
Fines? Hey, it wasn't my fault.
What were you thinking?
Look, I came through a bit of a rough system to get here, okay? I got jumped by raiders and had to make a run for it. They had missiles. When I fired up my ECM system, it must have shorted or something. My whole flight board went screw. I just about managed to drag myself here when all I get is some jumped up, bureaucratic little...
You were attacked. Don't you want to report it?
What's the point?
You might be entitled to a legal claim against the fines and the damage to your ship.
If you miraculously find me.
Well, you won't get anything without making a report.
Fine.
Can you describe the vehicles which attacked you?
I don't know. I think one of them was in a Harris, maybe both.
Registration?
Couldn't get it. Blocked somehow.
Of course. Anything useful you can tell me at all?
Yeah. They were gold.
Gold?
With little black stripes.
You say your ECM shorted out your control board. That's pretty rare.
Tell me about it. And I just had the damn thing serviced.
You can probably claim for that.
Yeah, well, that was in the outer systems. Didn't exactly get a printed receipt, if you know what I mean.
Well, we'll look into it. But in the meantime, you'll have to settle these fines.
I can't pay this. Not till I get a job, and I'll need to get my ship fixed up before I can get one.
If you can't pay, your ship will be impounded until you do.
Oh, come on!
I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Good day and stay legal, citizen.
Terrific.
Mister.
What do you want?
Are you Commander Thane? Is this your advert?
What? What in space are you doing in here? This bar ain't for kids.
Ship available for goods transport for any discerning customer. No questions asked. Cash required up front. Isn't this you?
What about it, kid?
My name is May. You spelt discerning wrong.
Did I indeed? Why don't you take that out and stick it back up by the door where it might do some good, and then leave me in peace?
I need a ship.
What do you need a ship for? Shouldn't you be in school, kid?
It's May, and I left. Commander Thane, please, I just want someone to take me home.
A runaway, huh? Pretty unusual to run home. You don't like school? What could they be doing that's so awful?
I thought your ad said no questions.
Well, it does say that, doesn't it?
I have money.
You do, huh?
At least, I can get you money. My father is rich.
Look, kid, I don't take passengers.
Please, I have to get away from here. You must want something I can get you. Everybody seems to want something.
Sure I want something. I want to earn enough credits for an expensive mining rig and a huge ship large enough for a planet load of rocks. I want a quiet system with nobody else around where I can work in peace. I want to meet no one else until I come back into civilization to trade my stock. But right now I can't do any of that because my ship is impounded and full of holes. So what I really want, little girl, is to drown my sorrows in peace and see what that dancing girl over there will be prepared to do to me for the last 40 credits I have in my wallet.
I won't be any trouble. Just take me with you on your next run. Any system other than this. I'll hitch you the ride from there.
Honestly, I don't even carry a passenger cabin. They're too much of an inconvenience. Like people. See you later, kid. May. Whatever.
Hi there, Space Cargo. What are you looking for?
I've got to get out of here.
My head. How much did I drink? Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Wow. 40 credits does go a long way.
You're sweet.
And your name was?
Why not call me Camilla?
Oh. Well, if you're planning to rob me, I'd put that blaster away. You already own the last credits I had to my name.
I'm not here to rob you. I just needed your undivided attention for a moment. Mitchell! Casey!
Hey, who are these guys? This is a private party.
Just gathering a little photographic evidence. Pose for the camera.
What's that for?
Just a little extra incentive. You know soliciting is illegal in this system, right?
Blackmail won't get you any further than robbery. I told you I don't have any money.
Settle down, Mr. Thane.
Wait, how do you know my...
Mitchell, Casey, pass me some clothes. We need your services, Mr. Thane. Or do you prefer Commander?
Just Thane is fine.
Very well, Thane. We need you to take a shipment into Imperial space for us.
I can't. My ship is out of commission right now. Plus I've got a heap of police fines I can't cover. So what's left of my ship is impounded.
We can deal with all that. If you agree to help us, I'll have my own people make your ship as good as new.
And the police fines?
Will be dealt with.
What kind of shipment?
Now that doesn't really matter, does it? All that matters is that you don't have a lot of other options.
Maybe I'd just like some due warning of what you're getting me into, Camilla.
I have a small shipment of robots that I need taking to Semius. What's so funny, Thane?
Just that. You've gone through all this song and dance for a shipment of robots. Why didn't you place an ad on the bulletin board like everyone else?
These robots are special. They're very sensitive prototypes, and we need them taken to Semius with the utmost discretion.
I'm sure they're really valuable.
They are. And it's important that you know how valuable they are. If anything untoward were to happen to any of the shipment, it would be bad news for you. Our organization has branches everywhere. Isn't that right, boys?
Very well, Camilla. So do I get any kind of payment on top of the ship repairs for this job? I have overheads.
We'll work something out. For your convenience, we've paid this room's lodging fee for another night. Meet us at the docks tomorrow, and your ship will be fixed, loaded, and ready to fly. Do you need us to send you up any more entertainment?
I think I've had all the company I can stomach right now.
Staying faithful to me? Sweet boy. Kiss, kiss. See you tomorrow.
The white zone is for the immediate loading and unloading of cargo. No pedestrians in the white zone. Would all ship commanders...
Dallas, where are you?
I'm near immigration control, heading down to the loading bays. Over.
Where is the prototype?
I can't see it. But the tracker indicates it's heading down to the docks. Over.
Damn it, Dallas. We can't let the weapon leave the station.
I'm not sure we have any way of stopping it, Lorand. Not at this stage, anyway. Over. Lorand, do you copy? Over.
Quiet, idiot. I'm thinking. Keep on the package.
What do you want me to do? Over.
Let me know what ship the weapon leaves on. Get me the ship's details, and I'll make sure the prototype is intercepted. Over and out.
The red zone is for waiting passengers. Please ensure that you have all of your belongings with you.
Commander?
Yeah?
Your electrical system checks out, plus there's a bunch of damage to the hull that we've fixed. She's fueled and ready to fly. Everything else is your problem.
Thanks a bunch.
Hi again. I see you got your ship fixed up.
Ugh, you. What do you want, kid?
I told you it's May. I thought, since your ship was all working again, and you looked like you might be about to leave, you might reconsider taking me with you.
I don't take passengers.
You're taking them.
Those are robots. Much less trouble than people. Theoretically.
I won't be any trouble.
The answer is no. Between the robots and the fuel, I don't have any room to take you. Goodbye.
We'll see about that.
Would all ship commanders ensure that their cargo manifests on...
Commander Thane, baby.
Oh, it's you. Come to check my clothes and make sure I'm properly stitched up.
No need to be harsh, honey. I just came to check on my investment. And to make sure you haven't forgotten how sensitive the shipment is.
I haven't forgotten.
We'll expect the shipment by the end of the month.
What? No, sorry, Camilla. It can't be done.
You have more important business along the way?
Well, yeah. A little thing I like to call refueling.
What?
I'm sorry, Camilla, but if you wanted a direct run to Semius, you should have hustled someone with a beefier ship. Between your cargo and the fuel I need, I'm going to have to stop at least once, if not twice, to pick up fuel. The Merlin just isn't that big.
Big enough? What the hell do you have in there?
Essential components. And don't even think of suggesting I uninstall the weapon systems. I don't go anywhere without those, threat or no threat.
No, I certainly wouldn't suggest you leave without weapons.
Exactly. Wait, what now?
Never mind. We'll still expect you to make our delivery as your first order of business. I don't want to hear about you getting involved as a freelancer along the way. Remember, we hear everything.
I'll get there as quickly as I can.
Good boy.
Lorand, are you there? Over. Lorand, are you there? Over.
What is it, Dallas? I'm busy.
There's been a development. Alpha 23 is here. On the station. Over.
Alpha 23? Are you sure?
Confirmed visual identity. She's down in the loading bay talking to some pilot. Over.
That's bad. Can you hear anything?
Yeah, you're going to love this. We might have a name for her finally. The pilot just called her Camilla. Over.
That's incredible work, Dallas. I'll have the file updated immediately. Is the prototype there?
It's in the cargo area. I think it might be on that pilot's ship by now. What do we do? Over.
Has Alpha 23... Has Camilla seen you?
No, I don't think so. Over.
Then do nothing. Just get me the registration of that ship.
We'll just see about getting a lift, Mr. Lone Wolf. If I can just squeeze into the cargo bay. Oh, there isn't enough room. I'll have to take something out. What's this? Hydrogen fuel, 1 ton. That's a pretty cheap commodity, he won't miss that. Where's the loading control? Perfect. Plenty of room for little me now.
Hey, Commander. Is your ship loaded, ready for departure?
Yeah, close her up.
Close her up.
Orbital traffic control requesting takeoff clearance.
Clearance granted. Seal airlocks and prepare for launching. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.
Ship released. Engines engaged.
Okay. Raise landing gear.
Landing gear retracted.
Seal hatches. Check. Download Lave radio broadcasts. Check. Setting course for next system. That place looks depressing. Oh well. Engaging hyperdrive. Check. Right, jump okay. Where do I need to go next?
It's freezing in here. Why is it so cold? Better try and make myself comfortable. Could be in here a while. Ow, my foot! What is that? Ugh, radioactive waste from the engine. I hope that container is sealed. It's getting pretty stuffy in here. It shouldn't be this stuffy, surely. Can't hear any ventilation fans. There's no air in here. Oh my god, I'm going to suffocate. Commander! Commander! Commander Thane! He can't hear me. I'm gonna die. No, I won't accept that. Commander Thane! Commander! Commander!
In that episode of Escape Velocity, Amy Timms played May, Christopher Jarvis, Thane, Liam Macaulay, Dallas, Rebecca Keeves, Lorand, Janet Westwood Wilson, Camilla, and Alan Stroud was the engineer, with Verity Croft as the voice of the computer. Other parts were played by members of the cast. Escape Velocity was written and produced by Christopher Jarvis, with additional music by Alan Stroud, and is a Radio Theatre Workshop production. For more information, please visit escapevelocity.laveradio.com. This work contains non-law fiction set in the Elite Dangerous galaxy. Elite Dangerous is copyright Frontier Developments plc.
Hello and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite.
And the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
And the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from a current Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads. A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Diso.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 407 of Lave Radio, the show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix to Fire, Chief Archivist of Lave Station, otherwise known as Colin Ford. And joining me in the Orange Sidewinder bar for this episode, we have our Staff Liaison Officer, Commander
You got there
Psychic.
eventually.
I got there eventually. It's running around with the show notes. We also have joining us this week. We have our guest trader. That'd be Commander Mac Winston.
You got my name right.
Winston.
Hello.
No, I didn't. I said Bat Winston. So that's
sorry. You got it right in the end though. So
yeah.
Have to give you some points for that.
And also we have our apprentice stunt driver, Commander Alec Turner.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Right. If you wish, you can join us live. We're not hanging out in game at the moment because obviously that's Ben's job, and Ben is still away having to deal with family business at the moment. But you can join us in the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. You can click on the live chat, or you can go straight to Twitch TV/Lave Radio, or YouTube, look up Lave Radio, or Facebook, look up Lave Radio at Facebook, or even Twitter, because apparently we appear on Twitter. So we'll touch a little bit of news. Obviously, you might have noticed that we don't have a Commander Shan. Commander Shan won't be joining us from now on. And we will just take this opportunity to thank him for his contributions for the last 4 years. But we're going to have to move on, and we'll have to talk. Well, this is one of the reasons why we have our apprentice stunt driver, because hopefully, if he passes his apprenticeship, we might have a new crew member of Alec Turner. You're on your evaluation, my friend.
Yeah, I'm on probation. Best behaviour. Absolutely no knob gags.
Yeah. So no, that's Lave Radio. You're supposed to be okay with them.
I don't know why I heard absolutely no knob goats, but I'm here for it. You're fitting in perfectly.
Right, you are. Knob goats
Yeah.
it is.
I just found out that if you call someone a goat, that's actually a real compliment.
God of all things.
Oh no, greatest of all time.
Oh, why not both?
Well, probably if you're the greatest of all time, you probably are the god of all things. But yes. So anyway, let's have a quick glance around the crew, see what you've been up to for the last. I don't know how long it's been. So, Psychic, you want to go first?
Crikey, what have I been up to? Not much, honestly. It was really, really hot. It was really, really hot, and then it got really, really wet and thundery. And I've been just like getting things ready. We're going away for a little bit next week, and just been getting things ready for that. Predominantly, we're spending a little bit of time away from the hubble and bubble of everything that's going on in the galaxy, and just getting ready for some fun bits, and having a bit of time away, and touching grass and all of those good things. But aside from that, I've just been like playing a lot of Elite Dangerous, as is want to do, playing a lot of Formula One Manager, and watching a lot of Formula One. I'm pretty two-dimensional at the moment, I'm not gonna lie.
So it's either fly a spaceship fast or watching someone drive a car fast.
Yeah, pretty much. And just like going, what the fuck is Ferrari doing? But that's a different story.
Oh, my son is a massive Ferrari fan. When we were in Monaco a couple of weeks ago, went to the Formula One shop there. We paid a huge amount of money for a replica Ferrari shirt, and he's wearing it in every single Grand Prix. And he just looks at me and goes, "What the Ferrari are they up to?" And
yes, quite.
yeah, it's heartbreaking for him because he gets really excited, and pole position always needs to be hundredths of a millisecond, and then something good. Oh yeah. Anyway, moving on from painful subjects like that. Alec.
Hello.
Hello.
It's jolly nice to be here. I shall have to find myself a permanent seat here somewhere.
I mean,
So,
I stood at the back for like 6 months. So.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's been a quiet week for me actually. What have I done? We went to we did go to IKEA and complete possibly the fastest lap of IKEA in history, and came out only spending £10.50, which I think might be a world record.
What was that on meatballs?
No, we bought
the
8.
meatballs are free.
They're sort of bookends. We went specifically to buy the 8 bookends. We bought the 8 bookends. That is absolutely all we bought, and we left.
How come every time someone mentions bookends, I keep on thinking of Professor Yeffel?
Other than that, I've been buckyball racing because it's been buckyball week. Yay!
Yeah, boo-hoo. Yes.
Oh, you missed it.
I know.
You wouldn't have liked this one. There was lots of long distance travel involved, and a very long trek back to the start line.
It's not the. I don't mind the long trek ones. It's just sort of. If it takes me longer than an hour, then I think, oh no, I can't do that one.
I don't think it would have taken you longer than an hour.
No,
they were about to go. Not the way I'm flying at the moment.
I don't know. He is Lave Radio's Captain Slow.
Oh no! Oh, you just take that back. We all know it's Ben. Ben is the equivalent of Hammond and May all rolled up into one, slow and crashing a lot. And the reason I say that is because he's not here to defend himself.
That's poor, Colin. Poor show.
No, that's exactly what they would do in Top Gear.
Good point.
Absolutely. Every man left behind.
Every man for themselves. Right. Commander Mac Winston, how are you?
I'm absolutely fabulous. Anyway, it's been we went sailing. So that's what we've been up to. Because there wasn't a show last week, was there? So yeah, we went sailing to Northern Ireland, and it was fantastic. It was our first trip. So it was like 7 hours there, 7 hours back. Stayed on the boat. Stayed on the boat when we got home, even though we sort of moored up within walking distance of the house. But we actually got to sail in formation with dolphins. We were about, I don't know.
Oh, nice.
3 miles off the coast of Northern Ireland. And we were joined by a bunch of dolphins, probably at least half a dozen of them. And they were like, right, I mean, literally, you could lean over the side and touch them pretty much. They were that close. And they were just swimming along with us for about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. It was quite incredible, really. But yeah, Yeah, so there was not much wind going over, so we had to burn the princely amount of about 3 litres of fuel to motor sail there, but we were wind powered coming back, and then on the bank holiday Monday, we had it was absolutely perfect conditions. We almost hit 10 knots, which is considering our hull speed is only our theoretical hull speed is only 7 knots, 7 and a bit knots. Oh, we had a following tide as well, which helped. But yeah, it was a really good bank holiday weekend. So yeah, and it didn't cost us a lot of money because 3 litres of fuel, a bit of wind, 20. I think it was 20 quid in marina fees in Northern Ireland, and that was it. So it was
That
not
sounds
only
lovely.
not only a really good long weekend, it didn't cost us an arm and a leg to do. So yeah, it was good fun. So we'll have to do it again when the weather's suitable.
Next year, then.
Yes, probably. Yeah, no. The
those
Irish Sea can be a bit lumpy, but yeah.
Yeah. I must admit the weather over here has been sort of hot and sticky for the last 3 months, and then all of a sudden it seems the heavens
it all ends up with a tremendous thunderstorm. Yeah, that's what it usually does. But the weather did turn here today too. But yeah, other than that, in game, I'm actually just starting to prepare for the expedition, the Passage to Andromeda, which is one of Yannick's expeditions, which starts in when's the EDSM says it starts in 12 days, 0 hours and 18 minutes. But I think there's a meeting on Sunday, so I'm preparing my ship. I'm taking 3 ships. So because we're taking a fleet carrier, which is nice 'cause you can take some extra ships. So I'm taking a mining ship. My regular fast ship, so I'm going to put an Imperial courier out there. And I think, because I've never explored in an ASP, all these years I've been exploring, I've never done it in an ASP Explorer.
Wow,
so
you must be the only one who has.
I've taken all sorts of weird things. I've taken the cutter. I did the Minerva Centaurus expedition, which was my first really big one. I did that in the cutter. I did Distant World 2 in the cutter. I did the Jaunt to Jax, which was like my first ever expedition. That was like when Colonia was like really, really new, and there was just Jax Station there. I did that in a Python with a 21 light year jump range, which it took a lot of jumps. But I read that one was really good because there was a community goal that started just when I was arriving in Colonia to bring exploration data, and so I absolutely cleaned up on that community. I was in the top 10%. Absolutely no trouble because it took me so many damn jumps to get there.
Right. Okay. That's.
I've done it in the Dolphin as well. Exploring a Dolphin's a great exploration ship.
Excellent. Yeah, the Dolphin is a good jumper, but I just can't believe you haven't done it in ASP before. Right. I think we'll quickly move on to the development news of what the devs has said this week. I've just done absolutely nothing this week because I've been up north and back down again, so I haven't had a chance. I've just been catching up with the forums and things like that. So
the forums, it's a silly place, Colin.
we don't go to the forums. We don't talk about the forums.
It's a silly place.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got a couple of weeks of news to catch up with. Now, the first one was a surprise interview that appeared in Rock Paper Shotgun, which is we'll put a link up there. There was quite a lot of interesting little points that was taking part in the interview. I think a lot of people latched onto this one phrase which was used: "We're not trying to be done with Odyssey," which was said. I'm just trying to find out who the person was who they interviewed, because it's being a pain again.
Luke Betterton.
Luke Betterton. There we go. And it was an interview done by Rick Lane. And yeah, it did seem. I think it was people. They were trying to reassure people that they're not done with Odyssey at all. Because there's been a lot of talk about whether or not the game is just going to be wound up at the end of this stuff, and Yeah.
It was in response to what I thought was a slightly odd question about whether they were trying to phase out parts of the expansion that players don't like, which seemed a sort of odd line of questioning because I've never heard anyone say that before.
Yeah.
And they're clearly not going to phase anything out that they've put into the game, apart from maybe the weird bioscanner.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well, that was just bad.
Yes.
And that was the only thing that was good that came out of the alpha was that was bad.
Although I quite miss it now, but let's not go down that path of.
I will fight you. I will fight you, Alec Turner.
It's just, I can't believe Alec just said that. It's just what?
It's better than nothing. It was my opinion.
It wasn't accessible. But that's a different thing. It wasn't accessible. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they were saying that the new code base now allows them to integrate and create things better. They're trying to make sure that all the players can take part in the narrative. Well, this is obviously to do with the fact that 4.0 will be coming sometime in September. We'll touch on that later. And it says, we're going to reward players who invest their time to explore and find things to re-engage again with the sort of content that we have. There's going to be new things to play with, new toys, and we're very much looking forward to seeing what happens. I mean, overall, when I did read the interview, I did get the gist that they're not done with Odyssey. They're not going to. It's not going to go into maintenance mode anytime soon. I don't know. It just didn't seem clarified enough.
What were you hoping? What were you hoping from it, Colin? What you're going into that interview? What were you hoping for?
Well, oh, you see, the thing is, they can't tell us anything more than what they have. I think some kind of reassurance that after this so-called last thing rework, which is coming at the beginning of next year, that they're still going to continue with development after that.
I personally don't feel like that's in any doubt. I would add that this article being published on the 23rd of August,
yes.
we're going to touch on this later, providing that we have time because we've got so much to cover the show. But we've already seen stuff just appearing in game, and we've seen the kind of things that they've been talking about in the graffiti and the big and that which will not be named in the back along, making its way slowly to us. These are things that there's not been like a huge update for or a big extra update for. These are just things that they've been able to activate in game without having time off.
Yeah, Alec.
All I'd say is they're putting a lot of pieces in place. They're trying to get everyone onto this 4.0 client. It feels like things are just about to start, and that would be a very odd thing to do if this was, for example, the last year of the game. So it certainly doesn't feel like the sort of tail end of Elite to me. It feels like the beginning, if anything, of a new, dare I say, era.
Psychic.
Yeah, we have this this moment. We're looking at this moment in time for Elite Dangerous at the moment, which is I said moment far too many times then, but this I'm not going to say it again. But we've got consoles coming over.
Just a minute.
I know, right? We've got I repeat myself far too often. We've got consoles coming over. We've got this 4.0 integration so that everyone can see what Frontier want us to see should they choose to, with regard to moving Horizons over. So we stand on the precipice of this, focusing everybody into one area, which is what we've been waiting for ages. I can't see them sunsetting the game anytime soon.
No. Yeah. Well, moving on from there, we had Frameshift Live 15, which was a day early due to the F1 Manager. We had Sally and Bruce are going over the events of what happened in HIP 22460. And there was a lovely little argument of how do you want to say it?
It's HIP, not H. HIP. It's short for Hipparchus. It's not a. It's not a acronym or a three-letter abbreviation as such. It's not H, something starting with H, something starting with I, and something starting with P. It's short for a word, Hipparchus. So I think it should be HIP, and you can fight me if you think I'm wrong.
No, I'm fine about it. I mean, there was an argument about how they actually should pronounce the system name. It seems to be a toss. There was an argument with 22460 or 22460.
22,460, I think.
Right? Bloody hell, no! Absolutely the hell not.
Well, I hate to say this from now on. For me, it's always going to be HIP 22460.
Yes, you're
okay.
right.
So,
I agree with you.
So that's going to be the official Lave Radio stance, and we'll have to start punching people if they say it wrong. Or
Are we threatening violence now, Colin?
It might be a fruit punch.
Okay.
Right. Obviously, the Discovery scanner has happened this week as well, and they also gave full details about what is coming in September. Now, there are two major things coming. First is obviously the console transfers. Now, the good news about the console transfers is that this week they are trialing it with certain commanders to make sure that the process works okay. I mean, so far from what I've seen on Reddit and on the forums, they've had a very high success rate, and people are happy that their console commander is going over without much of a problem, and that leads to the 12th, where they're going to open it up for everybody, and yeah, it should be the ability to transfer things over to the PC. Okay, guys, I'm going to open the floor for this one. I mean, obviously, I'm happy to see this happen. Good reaction.
The fact that it's been so smooth, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I don't really, I mean, because I don't have a console account, I confess I didn't. Well, obviously, it's great, but it's not something I can test or get very excited about myself. But I gather people. Somebody, I think in maybe Twitch chat I saw, said it took something like half an hour. If I read that right, they were.
Yeah, Kremen said it just a second ago.
That the process takes half an hour somehow or other. Does anyone know exactly how it works? Do you sort of, I don't know. Do you have to do anything at your end? Do you have to run a thing?
No, you've got to do basically a. You go onto a web page. You're basically told what account that you want to use it for, and then ask what account or what email address you want the new account to be set up under, and effectively it will then take your old Xbox or PlayStation account and all the details under that, and set up a new Frontier account for you to then put wherever you want. So you can have it as a Frontier account, or transfer it to Steam, or transfer it to Epic if you wanted to.
Cool.
It's a pretty painless process. The only problem I've got is that, do I really want four accounts on my PC? Because I've already got 3. Ironically, one of the accounts does exactly the same as what was happening on the Xbox anyway, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I've got 6.
Why not? 4 is better than 3.
You've got 6.
Yeah. Like, let's gloss over the fact that I've got 6 accounts. It's a compulsion thing on my part. I'm very sorry about it in advance. I've got 6 accounts and I use maybe 2, 3 at a push. I know where 3 are in the galaxy. That's about the best I can give you. See, I'm not the only one. Terrakov's got 8.
I thought I was bad with the 3, but
I thought I was
one of them was a free Epic account.
Yeah,
The other one was I bought it in a sale off the Frontier store because I needed an alt. But I've only used my mate. I've hardly used my alt for probably since Odyssey came out. I don't think I've used my alt.
Okay, Alec, go on.
I was just going to say, I've only got one, actually. Well, theoretically, I guess I bagged the Epic one, but I've literally never logged in or used it.
Yeah,
But
I'm the same.
this week, actually, watching Brusky multi-box refuel himself in the race, I was thinking, damn, I wish I had another account, because that looks really cool.
Somebody refueled themselves.
Yeah, Brusky multi-boxed and
Of
refueled
course he
himself.
did.
Of course he did.
Of course he did.
Shouldn't that be not allowed?
Nah, you could use another. You could use someone to fuel you. I used husband power.
It
has to be
didn't look
somebody
easy.
else.
It didn't look easy. I mean, there's some multitasking going on there that I don't think I could keep up with. I mean, not only did he didn't just park a refueling ship and arrive at it, he then had to jump his refueling ship to another place ahead of his main ship, so that it was there.
Insane.
So he was alt tabbing quite a lot. It was mental.
Oh God, that sounds mental.
Yeah.
Oh no, I couldn't handle that at all. No.
Quite impressive.
Anyway, so I've got a debate. Do I want to transfer my Xbox account over? And I think the problem I've got is I've got to create a new email account in order to do it. But still. So yes, the console process is being trialed at the moment. The next Frameshift Live again will be on a Wednesday, 7th of September at 4. I don't know. I don't know. They haven't explained why they've decided to move it to Wednesday. It could be they've got another F1 stream happening on the Thursday.
They don't.
Don't they? Okay.
So
Sally. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I think it's just because the people that they've got on can only do Wednesday. That would be my guess.
Ah, yes, because they're supposed to have a yet another developer, but it's not Dev.
It's not Darren, it's not Dav, it's not Tom. I believe it's sound people.
It's audio engineers, which would be great.
Oh, sound people. They're always
because we all hate the audio in this game. Nobody talks how good it is at any point whatsoever. So it'll be a good way for them to really take in all of the backlash that we've got.
I'm afraid to say, Commander Ventura, that one's already taken. Anyway, right. So obviously they haven't announced the actual date for 4.0 coming across to Horizons yet. Do you think they'll wait until the console process is well underway before announcing that?
Maybe. I'm not sure that it's going to be the console process that's going to be like in the critical path of that, but it's probably independent of that, and they've probably got to do a bit of testing to make sure that there's no gotchas.
It'll be before the update in November, I would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes,
we've got probably after the 12th, we've got if we're lucky, like probably about a month period for it to sort of fall in.
Well, actually, in the Discovery scanner this week, they've actually said that in September you will get both. Then. Yeah, we've got the console transfer process and also the upgrade to 4.0. So that will be coming at some point in September. So it's going to be a big upgrade month, I think.
Running around like headless chickens, those people in Frontier. Poor Gav. I feel so sorry for him.
Okay, let's move on to the in-game events. What has been happening in the last couple of weeks? Well, let's see. On the 25th of August, it was confirmed Salvation is dead. Apparently, they sent out a patrol who managed to avoid the Thargoids long enough to turn up in HIP 22460, scan the destroyed megaship, and found that Salvation and all of the crew are dead. So whether or not you want to believe that is up to you, but I think that answers my question, and that's the end of Salvation for me. The Alliance asked for a material boost so that they can build anti-Xeno megaships. Well, they managed that, and they managed to get 2 of them. So it was funny that the Alliance put everything out on the line for the anti-Xeno effort, yet the Sirius Corporation didn't risk any of their hardware whatsoever. That's a bit ominous for the future of the Alliance. There has been a retrial requested for Admiral Tanner, who was the head of Aegis. Or Aegis, one of the two. The Admiralty Board is saying, in light of what's happened since, maybe we should have a look at the evidence again. So, we'll wait and see how that goes. On the 27th, there was a comment about the fears rise about possible Thargoid expansion. Possible Thargoid expansion, anybody? No. A new chapter has started for Azimuth after the loss of Salvation. They are claiming that they're going to start a few, try and rebuild their organization. I don't think the player base is going to let them, to be honest, but it turns out that they had a community goal, and the community goal was completed before Sunday. So I didn't even have a chance to get back. I got back from Scotland, thought, right, now I can join in the community goal. Oh, it's done. So, yeah. The Empire has decided that it's going to stand alone against the Thargoids. It doesn't want to share any information. It doesn't want to fight alongside the Federation. They're going to stand alone against the Empire, which is,
silly.
Interesting. Oh, interesting. We've also got the green gas giant, which was missing for 7 years, has now been rediscovered. That was mentioned in Galnet. That was fantastic.
Good article, actually.
Right. Now the next ones we will probably cover in the main topic. So there's been an unexpected double quotes flare detected in deep space. Yes. I think we'll talk about that one later. Experts have speculated on Thargoid behavior. And Xeno peace discussions have started to gain momentum, which was an interesting one to read. Psychit, it's been a fantastic couple of weeks. Off you go.
You know what? There's been some fantastic stuff come out this week, even the last couple of weeks. I really like the opinion pieces. There's been a couple of cracking opinion pieces, and a couple of opinion pieces going, oh, maybe we can now be friends with the Thargoids, seeing as we gone done messed it up so badly. And like a couple of little bits like that, which have been really, really, really cool. And yet again, still more commander names being mentioned as well.
Yes.
Which is so cracking.
I think it's good that it's really good that they have returned to putting player-driven content in Galnet. They used to do that a long time ago, and it's great that they've started up again.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the other things that has been happening, of course, is it seems that we've been invaded by Banksy.
This is so good.
So good, man.
I know that. There is graffiti appearing. It's just in the Pleiades, isn't it?
No.
Oh, it's not just the Pleiades.
It's not anymore. It's not. It's I haven't. That was something I was going to check at the end of today. But there's a couple of other places actually in the bubble that have got some bits as well now.
Oh, excellent! Because these little pieces of graffiti just turned up. There didn't seem to be any kind of prerequisites for it turning up. You know, it wasn't in a certain system or a certain industry type. They just turned up everywhere. It's really. You got ones that say Salvation lives and and dead bugs and all that kind of stuff. So there has been speculation that this is going to be heading towards some kind of, I don't know, conflict between those that think Salvation still lives and those that just want to go and kill Thargoids. But yeah, that's just speculation at the moment. But yeah, I mean, props to them, because never expect them to do something like that. It was so nice.
No, it's awesome. When the Buckyville race was over, that was the first thing I did actually, is jump back into Odyssey and go and visit some graffiti. It's really good. It's really fun trying to find it, because it's quite hidden, some of it as well.
Yeah. I mean, we should point out that at the moment, the only place you can see this stuff is in Odyssey. And it will be until, unfortunately, Horizon players, you're going to have to wait till 4.0 to start seeing all this stuff coming through.
But it's all in concourses, so they won't see it.
Oh, yeah, that's a point.
That's true. Good point.
I don't want to like piss on your bonfire at all, Colin.
I don't know. They could start putting it into the hangars.
If they start putting it into the hangars, that'd be amazing.
Here's the thing that I wonder: if you haven't bought Odyssey and you fly to the outside window, can you see in?
You won't be able to see people walking around, because that's the prerequisite to Odyssey, isn't it? You wouldn't see
I
that
wonder
on
if
a
you could
station.
zoom in your camera and still see a little bit of graffiti through the window, and then sort of press your face up against the window longingly and go, "Oh, I wish I had Odyssey."
For testing! To test for science!
Yeah, the problem is you wouldn't be able to see anybody, because basically they're not even in the same instance.
No, but you might be able to see
You
the
might be able to
graffiti.
see- you might be able to see NPCs.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I suppose you could try the trick with the external camera. Does the external camera go through the ship into the?
It's not
into the
supposed to, is
concourse?
it? I don't think it's supposed to go through the glass.
No, it
Well,
do- it
I'm
doesn't
sure
go-
we'll
you
get people trying.
You get signal lost if you try and go through the glass.
Ah, right. Nice to nice to see that happening.
You might see that there's an azimuth logo in somewhere on one of the pads, the mission pad things that you go to in somewhere in the Pleiades. That one you might be able to see.
Yeah, true. So, yeah, there's nice little storytelling additions there, and yeah, I must admit, when all this kind of stuff came out, I was there going, "Oh, really need to get people onto 4.0," because yeah, Alec.
One tiny question, and I'm at risk of showing myself up here. One of the bits of graffiti says "Give Pence a chance," and I don't understand it.
Pence a chance.
Pence. Does anyone get that?
Someone doesn't know how to spell peace correctly.
Maybe.
It's about a politician called Pence.
Is there any characters in Galnet in the backstory that?
It's
or have
very
I fallen-
difficult.
Maybe
It's
I've
very-
fallen for some joke. I don't know.
It's super difficult to Google Pence and not see anything other than Mike Pence.
Which is a bit of a problem.
I mean, yeah, that in and of itself. But let me come back to you.
I think it's just someone can't spell peace right.
Yes, that's probably the more rational explanation.
Maybe I've fallen for a practical joke. Actually, what I'm looking at is the Graffiti Watch forum page, which is a really good resource. Actually, it's listing all the places where it's been found. And now I look at this example. It looks suspiciously hand done.
It looks to me. It looks to me like give peace a chance.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Oh no. Okay. No, I have fallen for something. What Psychit's posted is not what I'm seeing. Okay, I've fallen.
Right. Okay.
Right. Can we edit that out before I look a complete idiot, please?
Absolutely the hell not. No, we're not. We don't do that here.
We don't do that. I mean, for goodness.
You have to have an initiation rite into if you're going to be a permanent Lave Radio person. So you have to be ritually humiliated.
Yes, for me, it's bad pronunciation and spelling. So yeah, right. So I think it's time that we had a look at the store. So it's that time of the week again.
Store alert!
And welcome back. The store alert for there's actually quite a lot happening with the store this week. First of all, we have the new Dolphin Expressway paint jobs. Since Mac, you were flying about in dolphins.
Yeah.
These are basically nice color, various colors with nice designs on the wing and the very top, including orange, green, different colors. I mean, I must admit, it does look better than your average dolphin. Would anybody else be thinking about buying that?
I like them. I like the white one with the red and orange. That's got real passenger liner vibes to it. It's terrific.
Yeah, it is. I must admit, I do prefer the ones that are white with the stripes rather than orange or yellow or red. For some reason, whenever I think passenger liner, I think passenger liner has to be white. I don't know why.
I think they look like buses. The other one.
I think the dolphin generally has a very bussy appearance, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, but it's a posh bus.
I named. What did I name mine? I think I named mine something like Leyland Leopard, which is a type of bus because it looked like a bus. It kind of reminds me. Did I don't know if any of you seen a film? I think it was from the mid-80s. It was like a spoof film called The Big Bus, featuring a nuclear-powered bus, and I think the dolphin looks like the Cyclops, which was the bus in this film.
Yes, I remember that film because it was a very poor rip-off of Airplane.
Yes, it's one of those movies that's so bad it's actually good. I really enjoyed the character. We watched it a couple of years ago actually, and it was just bizarrely enjoyable that film. But yeah, it does remind me of the Cyclops, the dolphin.
The nuclear-powered bus that was sabotaged because the Arabs didn't want to lose the oil market.
Yeah.
And the funniest joke was, okay, we're going to have to put her up to 90 miles an hour just to see if we can break the wind barrier.
Yes.
It's just so that you can break wind at 90 miles an hour. Yeah, that's the level of humour, guys. If you're interested,
just as well, I'll pass if that's okay.
Yeah, Airplane's much better, but if you want something dumb, then...
Well, Airplane itself was a takeoff of an earlier film called 0 Hour, which was the thing is you've got to watch 0 Hour. If you watch Airplane, you've got to watch 0 Hour. It's a 1950s. It's a serious flying disaster movie, and the guy in it is even called Ted Stryker, and it's got all the tropes you see in Airplane, but done seriously, and it's absolutely hilarious watching it. If you've watched Airplane, watching 0 Hour, it's just
yeah, because you half expect to see Leslie Nielsen turn up in that one.
Yes.
Yeah. In other store news, you can also get the Overdrive paint job for your Asp Explorer, and yeah, this looks like something that's jumped out of Miami Vice.
No, we don't see the picture just yet.
It's horrible.
I love
really
them
don't like.
so
Do you?
much. I tell you who Commander Vex on Twitter has done one of the most beautiful images that I've seen of this. I think with an Earthlight behind it, and the Earthlight's got it's kind of like the silhouette of an Earthlight, and it looks like it's just a dome over it. It looks like an 80s music video cover, and it's fun. Not a CD. What are the things that you guys had back along?
Album covers.
Like one of those. It looks like
vinyl.
You know, that Asp
being
is
an
so
arsehole
me. I'm definitely that's going on my exploration Asp.
It's beautiful.
Do this expedition coming up. It's going on my Asp.
It wasn't an Asp. I think it's a Cobra. Same paint job, and it's absolutely stunning.
I think there's some other ships with that paint job as well. I think there's a Python's got a similar paint job.
Do you know what, Mac? If you put that on your ASP, then people will be tracking you in the FSS much as they're tracking the Goid Star. Will be able to see you from like 1,000 light years away.
I think, yeah, it's high visibility. You definitely don't want to fly around gankers in that. But
No. I mean, they'll probably go after you just on principle, to be honest.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. I will not hear words against it. It's perfect.
It's a bit like the kind of vector graphics bit of it is a bit like remember Battlezone, the old arcade game, which was all 3D tanks with vector graphics. It's a bit with mountains in the background. It's a bit like that.
Oh, going off on a tangent. Just don't worry, it is Elite related. There's this old games console called the Vectrex. Has anybody heard of it? Oh, you've got one?
I have one, yeah. I have two. I have one that's for spares and the other one's working.
Yeah, proper vector graphics on it. I saw a video not long back where someone had actually coded Elite on the Vectrex.
Oh, I have to look that up. I'll see if I can.
Yeah, I would like to see what it's like, because apparently playing with the wireframe graphics, it looks absolutely phenomenal compared to the other, even the old Spectrum and the BBC versions. Because
because there'll be no aliasing. It'll be nice straight lines. All the vectors. I mean, the trouble with the Vectrex, they flicker a bit because the more graphics it has to draw, the longer each frame takes to draw. Because it's literally, if you think of how a Etch-a-Sketch works, if you think about a regular old TV, it scans from the top right to the bottom left, but the Vectrex actually steers the electron beam to draw the shapes, as the name suggests. The vectors, it's vector graphics. So the more complex the graphics get, the more flickery it gets, because the longer it takes to draw each frame. But yeah, it's an interesting machine. It's one of a kind, really. There's no other game console quite like it.
No, there wasn't. I think we've blown Psychit's mind because she doesn't understand we had CDs in the 80s. It was
I was only 5 in the 80s. What am I supposed to know?
It was tape decks in the 70s. It was CDs in the 80s and the 90s, and then we started moving to MP3s, and now it's all in your phone.
You had to be reasonably well off to afford the CDs in the 80s. It wasn't really till the late 80s, early 90s that it became cheap enough to become mainstream.
I remember having a portable CD player in 1986.
Look at
you and your flash money bags.
Yeah, I had portable one of those, and basically I was constantly listening to that Def Leppard Hysteria album for about 2 years. Oh dear. The things you used to do in your youth.
The funny thing is, after tapes, you listen to a CD, and it was almost eerie how there was just a lack of noise.
Yeah, because you were used to having the crinkle.
Yeah, there's a little bit of hiss with a tape. But the other thing is when Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms came out. That was the one. I think that was one of the first CDs that was full digital. It was a DDD, so it was digital mastering, digital mixing, and digital CD, of course. And it was like we were all listening. It was like, wow, it's so crystal clear, this sound. It was amazing. And now everybody takes it for granted.
Right. Well, we should move on. Hysteria is the fourth. Oh, was it 87?
87. So you're not only are you outing yourself as that, but you're outing yourself as a time traveler as well, which is fantastic.
I must have had the CD in 87 then, because I remember going to York Tech. Yeah, it would have been 87. Because it was just released, that album.
I was 3 when that album was released.
Oh,
I want to let that sink in for a moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. Well, in other news, still with the store. There's still more with the store. Yes. We have discounts across the store. So there's 45% off various ship kits, Raider packs, Kovas, and Odyssey weapon skins. There's 30% off paint jobs, weapons and engine colors, and 20% off hazard packs and Odyssey gear sets. So there's an awful lot. It feels like it, Katie. Yeah. So there's an awful lot on sale at the moment. I must admit, I will be tempted to get a few cheap ship skins at the moment. Because there's a couple that I've always wanted, but just thought, can't be bothered. But now that they've dropped the price a little bit. Anyway.
Yep, me too. I think I'm going to have to dip into the sale big time, actually. It's fantastic, isn't it? It's across the board.
Yeah. I've always wanted a Raider ship pack, but I've always thought that for my ASP, but I've always thought that was just a little bit too expensive. But
can I speak on that also? And again to Mac, who's taking an ASP exploring. So the thing I was going to say about that is that the ASP has a fantastic view. It's got all this glass around you, particularly sort of down by your feet. It's lovely for exploring. What I've done to my ASP is put the Raider kit on it, which obscures your view with lots of steel girders and spikes. So the view that the ASP is famed for is you're basically encased in a big metal roll cage.
Yeah, they do that on the Mark II. It looks like that as well.
Yeah, it looks great from the outside, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for an Explorer ASP because it genuinely obstructs the view.
I'm never really bothered with ship kits, to be honest. I think a lot of them kind of are a bit, I don't know, they're not been my thing. So yeah.
I didn't notice this. According to Happy Moon Monkey, when scavengers arrive in the settlements, they always arrive in ships and Raider kits.
I'm gonna need to see that.
Do they? That's amazing.
That's incredible. I love it.
I'm gonna have to go on a couple of kill the scavenger missions just to see now.
I didn't think NPCs use ship kits at all. That's wow. That's fantastic. I like it.
Yeah. Right. Well, okay. So some homework for next week, eh, Sackett? Oh, you're not going to be here.
Oh, man. I'm not going to be here. I'll do it 2 weeks. I'll do it in 2 weeks. I'll report back in 2 weeks. I will not remember to do this. Please don't expect it.
Not a problem. Right. I think we will go away for some adverts and then we will come back with our main discussion.
Hi, I'm Trent Stephen Findlist Jr., and I'm here to tell all you pilots about a great new service. Take a listen to my friend, Pete.
My name's Pete, and I'm a long-distance haulier. I drive a Puma, shipping farm machinery from Leasty to Saweo. I love my family, and I don't mind being a hard-working blue-collar dad, but I'm tired of seeing my family grow old in front of my eyes. Every time I make the run there and back, I lose 15 days in hyperspace. My family is starting to notice that they're getting older, and I'm not. My wife had a baby last week. I did a week of shifts, and now my kid's got teeth. I wish there was some way my family could get old at the same speed as me.
There is, Pete.
How?
By buying into my new service, Findlist Cryogenics. We aim to put the freeze on the premature aging of your family. The process is simple.
Our unique family centres allow you to drop off your loved ones on the way to work. Simply hire the number of cryogenic pods you need and keep your family asleep while you fly among the stars. We ensure synchronicity with your flight patterns so they spend the same time awake that you spend in the cockpit.
And when you get home, bingo! Your family is the same age as you. Never lose family time in hyperspace again. We guarantee that you'll never miss another birthday, anniversary, or funeral.
Wow, Trent, that sounds great. Where do I sign?
Simply put your credit card details into our special webpage under the hashtag WeFreezeYourLove. We'll take care of the amounts, no need to worry about that.
It's so simple. I can't wait to keep my family in a secure block of ice. It's a weight off my mind.
Findlist Cryogenics, now at your local spaceport.
Findlist Cryogenics, because the family that grows old together goes cold together.
The Dex Legacy on Lave Radio, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy.
You've flown ships at max speed. You've felt the power of the 30-megawatt mining laser. You've experienced the efficiency of the MB4 mining machine.
Wow.
But it leaves every hardcore miner with just one question.
Why can't I get a shave that's that fast, close, and efficient?
Introducing the Saracen MB5 shaving drone.
It's so smooth.
Combining the power of a mining laser with the convenience of a drone.
It's like every hair is targeted by a fighter and destroyed.
Saracen's patented shaving drone attaches to your face at the start of the day. Leave it to do its work, and when you come back to check, your face is shaved.
He's so smooth.
It's like I'm mining my face.
The Saracen MB5 shaving drone.
Now I feel manly.
Saracen Shaving, making shaving an unnecessary adventure.
From the makers of the MB5 shaving drone comes the latest in personal grooming technology. Here at Saracen, we've heard your request loud and clear. You want something new. Applying all the recent technological advances. Introducing the Panther Clipper. Gone are the days of your unruly body hair making you look like a bedraggled alpaca. The Panther Clipper is the biggest, baddest shaver credits can buy. A shave so smooth it'll shave 10 milliseconds off your buckyball time. The new Panther Clipper from Saracen. It's exactly what you've been asking for.
You've listened to 400 episodes of Lave Radio. Why?
That is an interesting question. Why? Anyway, the main discussion for this week. Well, this is this unknown thing that has suddenly appeared in the galaxy. On the 30th of August, somebody noticed that something was approaching Occa's UF-J C11-0. And they just thought it was a little blip in the sky. But then some clever people worked out it was actually moving. And it was basically estimated to be about 60 hours away from actually making, I don't know, what, system fall in the system. And all of a sudden there was a marked increase in hyperdictions around Occa's UF-J C11-0. That caused an awful lot of excitement. Psyche, well, you were watching things happening at the time. Did this take you by surprise a little?
I sat in a Discord and watched Commander Burr watch it for 2 hours.
2 hours.
But first and foremost, I got a message from Katie going, you need to check Malik's stream. Go and have a look at Malik's stream. And I had a quick look at it. I was like, nah, it's just like some aftermath of something that's disappeared. That should have gone. It's a bug. It's definitely a bug. And she messaged me back, are you sure about that? Because these 3 other people are all streaming it as well. And I was like, wait, what? and then I've flown out to it a couple of times. Can confirm it's moving. Can confirm you don't even need to fly out to it. Just point your FSS in the general direction and you will hear it.
Yeah, because on the 31st of August, it was started to be reported by both Galnet News Digest and Obsidian Ant. They tried to work out what it was doing, and they worked out that the velocity was about 0.8 light years a minute, or this is how nerdy I am. Warp 12.6 in the original series of Star Trek, or 9.2 in The Next Generation. Don't ask me how I know that. It's just very, very sad. Or effectively 2001 times the speed of light.
Which is our max speed, isn't it, in Super Cruise?
Yes, it is. And Galnet News Digest, I think it was Peter Wotherspoon's article, had a interesting technobabble explanation about how we can see the superluminal object. It's really worth a listen. It's a bit of a spoof of the old turbo encabulator, and it's amusing.
A round of applause for Pete Witherspoon to come up with the absolute huge amount of technobabble that would put Voyager to shame. So, yeah. It does appear to have come from permit locked system NGC2264, sector REYC 14-0, which is a Thargoid locked system, we think. And it landed on Thursday and then just passed everybody by. And started heading off in another direction.
It kind of reminds me if you've read Terry Pratchett's book, I think it's The Color of Magic, about the red star that was approaching the Discworld. It kind of reminds me of that, and everybody going slightly mental, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it has continued because high predictions have also increased around occurs BS-F C13-0. Oh, I'm being told that I've got it wrong. Psychic?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Right. Okay then. So
Because
these
otherwise
are
I'll go into one of my rare but fun rants, and we don't need that. Maybe later.
no, the Thargoids are actually increasing their number of aggressive high predictions. So these are the high predictions where you don't really get a chance. They don't even fire off the disabling ray. They just come out with all guns blazing. Has anybody else actually had to deal with one of those yet?
Yes.
And how did you do?
I was the one who bought, like, the one that when it started happening around 22460.
Yeah.
I was HIP 22460. Got to get it right in present company. My apologies. It's pronounced KISS. When I found I made a joke about it happening to me around HIP 22460. I'm gonna mix the pair together, and that was when Canon first found about it. First found out about there being extra high predictions. So that was quite fun, and it's really scary because I genuinely didn't think it was going to happen because it never happens. I haven't been high predicted in here near the by this big thing's personal escort. I haven't been high predicted by them yet. I've been out a couple of times.
Right. Now, apparently arrived at Ockers BS-F C13 on the 5th of September, arrived about 8, and then moved on. One thing that people have been discovering is in the systems it has been through, there does seem to be a lot of wrecks. The number of destroyed or starship wrecks in the system seems to have gone up.
That's
so
brilliant. I hadn't heard that. Are these like sort of, when you sort of drop in on are they sort of caustic wrecks like Thargoid damage?
No, they're not. They're just destroyed ships. I mean, there's a couple of signal sources in there and things like that. But from what I've seen, there's this massive thread on the forums, which is why I've been in the forums, which is basically plotting and keeping track of the progress. And at the moment, the target does seem to be heading to HD 38291. Now, I don't know whether or not it's supposed to be arriving around about now, but yeah, that's where its next target is. It does appear to be doing about 30 light years a day, which is the equivalent of our Max Super Cruise, as Max already said. But
it went really fast one day.
Mm-hmm.
Like for one moment it was being calculated at something like 30 light years an hour. I had like 4 different people come into my chat and say, oh, it's going 30 light years an hour, and I said that is bollocks, nothing is going that quickly. But apparently it was, but it's slowed right back down now. I think Pete did an article about it. Oh, and Pete and Jude did an article about it speeding up as well.
Yeah, they did, and there's probably be covered in Galnet News at the end of the show. Now we might as well describe what this thing is. It does look like a massive spiral with. How should we put this? It's got the same kind of greens and blues in it that you see in Thargoid and Guardian artifacts. So, on to the big question. What does everybody think it is? We'll start with Alec.
I was just going to say on the greens and blues, actually, that I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but the blue, I mean, it's I find it a slight stretch to say it's a Guardian blue. I mean, it's blue, but it reminds me of the blue that you get when you can see, like you see a 3D. You're wearing 3D glasses, the red and blue glasses.
Yeah.
It's that sort of blue. I'm not convinced that it's this Guardian blue. I mean, it's blue, but yeah, what is it? I don't know. I mean, I guess the best bet is some sort of Thargoid mothership.
According to the chat room, 6-shooter R, if you are at HD 38291, it looks massive. Because it looked. Go on, Alec.
I was just going to say, I've heard some people trying to calculate its size, and I don't know. I mean, because I've heard claims that it's like practically the size of a system. A stellar system. I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but part of me just wants to. Frontier want it to be seen. They've put this thing in the game. They want us to be able to see it from an enormous distance. If it was the realistic size of, say, for example, a Thargoid mothership, let's pick those Thargoid ground sites or something 10 times the size of it. We wouldn't actually be able to see it. So I sort of wonder if there's a bit of artistic license going on, and Frontier have made something that we can see, and people are now sort of overanalyzing it and going, I don't know. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but it can't be the size that people are calculating it to be, because it wouldn't make sense that sort of thing. You can't have a stellar system suddenly arrive somewhere and be something we can go and see as an asset. It's too big. So
yeah. I mean, it could actually be the side effect of whatever transportation method they're using, because you can see other ships and supercruise. You can't see the details; they're just bright lights.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
so.
The canon, as not as in canon research, but the canon is in the head canon for why that is so is literally that, because otherwise, if it was just normal light, we'd be seeing something that happened 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago, because it's about 10 light years away from the systems that see it. So it obviously has to be an artifact of the way it's traveling. So you're not actually seeing an object 10 light years away. The actual visual is a lot closer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think sorry, go ahead.
It's just like the Super Cruise. I think it is just like you just call it like a bit like the Super Cruise bubbles. So you see them from a long way off, and they look. Because I'm looking at some Super Cruise flares now, and they're bigger than literally the planet that you're nearby, but they're not that big really. It's just they look that big. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely, and I feel like something that let's face it, it's a hot topic of conversation at the moment, and something that has been postulated upon is how if you're in Super Cruise and you slow right down and your mate slows right down as well, you can kind of catch a glimpse of actually what their ship looks like within that light. If you've never tried it, entirely worth trying. I say it because JP Strider mentioned it in chat as well. If you slow down and get close enough, you can see the ships.
It's really hard to do, but yeah, you can actually see it in full detail in Super Cruise.
And it's really difficult to try and do that with this Thargoid thing, because A, it's moving super, super quickly, and B, when it seems to get to the star before it changes course and goes off on its direction, either the servers go down or it starts jumping about places. Because I reckon somebody could do it. I reckon somebody could calculate getting really, really close, and someone who isn't me, obviously, but they would be able to get really close and maybe catch a glimpse of what it is. As for what it is, the other day we did some. I was actually sat in a call with my very good friend Mal for the Win, who had Photoshop open and was doing all different kinds of color changing and things with it. And it's funny that you bring up the blue, Alec, because we did the negative shift of it, of the blue and the white, and it is towards that center of it, with the exception of the very, very outside edges. It is when you flip it onto the negative, it is completely black. There's no difference. It's just the very outside of the very edges that even have a little bit of blue. So I definitely feel like that's some kind of lensing effect that comes in line with maybe the speed that it's moving or something like that.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know though. I don't know. But nobody knows. I don't know how. I don't know how lensing effects work.
It's great that nobody knows. It's such a good. There's so much buzz this week. So much speculation. It's fantastic.
The thing is, we can't even apply real physics to this because we'd be able to tell whether it was red shifting or blue shifting if they followed real physics. But because this is the magic of supercruise or whatever propulsion they're using, they could just make it up as they go along.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what is quite funny is the fact that Galnet reported it as a distant point of light described as a reddish-orange flare with faint radial patterns.
It doesn't look reddish orange to me. Is this one of those dress things where everybody sees it gold or blue?
Well, wait, it's green, isn't it?
The reporter was colourblind, probably.
It'd have to be. But what? It's green.
It is green. It's Thargoid green, as far as I'm concerned.
What do you think it is, Colin? What would be your guess?
I'm thinking that it is a mothership, Thargoid mothership, coming in to basically kick bottom, and on top of that, that blue tinge means it's got the Thargoid Proteus wave with it. So whatever system this thing arrives in will have the same effect as there is in HIP 22460, and basically, well, good luck. Alec, go on.
Yeah, just one thing on this, like the speculation that it's got Guardian Proteus wave stuff.
Yeah.
What sort of doesn't ring true for me with that is that the whole Guardian Proteus wave thing kicked off in HIP 22460.
Yeah.
And I guess my assumption was that whatever that was kind of not invented's the wrong word, but sort of was created in that system. So I'm struggling in lore reasons to explain why the Thargoids are then coming from a very, very long way away with this technology back in the direction of HIP 22460, when surely that's where this thing should have originated. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, but this could also go back to the fact that we know that the Thargoids and the Guardians fought each other a long time ago. So that means that they've had all this time to come up with anti-Thargoid weapons. Sorry, anti-Guardian weapons.
So maybe what we've seen in HIP 22460 is old Guardian, old Thargoid tech that they developed to defeat the Guardians, and they're just redeploying it. It's not something new, and they're just they're like, okay, we need to bring the big guns.
That's exactly what my theory is that sort of this is the kind of stuff left over from the last Guardian Thargoid war, and you can just imagine them going, "Oh God, we've got to get this stuff out, dust off the plans. Come on, bring them out, psych it."
So, as Katie and I just pointed out in chat, the Proteus wave that was the Thargoid Proteus wave was green and not blue. So why would it be blue? Just a question, just something for you to postulate on. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but it's just something to consider. The other thing I'm going to talk about the Galnet articles where lots of people were giving opinions. But there was the very last little opinion from the experts speculate on Thargoid behaviour said we should not assume that the Thargoids subconsciously adapted to us or even register as an intelligent life form. We may be no more than parasites to them. Perhaps their vessels are responding like biomechanical antibodies, automatically fighting against a particularly virulent strain of human infection in HIP 22460, which to me might indicate that what's coming is the big antibody, or like the extra thing. Look, we're no longer just a mild inconvenience. We've upgraded to an inconvenience, and now they've just got to bring something to properly clean us out of that area.
Yeah, I
We've
mean
gone
that is
from the
go on,
alpha
Matt.
to the delta variant, I think.
Yeah, we're not even at Omicron yet. They don't care about us that much.
So yeah, the other thing is people have been noting that some of the hyperdictions are immediately hostile, and others like the old style stop and scan. But in the lore, there's always been something about being at least two factions of Thargoids. That the ones with the fear glands removed, and the others, I can't remember their names, Aresians or Claxians or something like that. That kind of stuff. So Katiana says not an ED lore, but if you think about it, there's multiple factions of humans, so it stands to reason that ED lore notwithstanding, there could be two strains of Thargoid ones, some that are immediately hostile and some that are less hostile. Though having said that, I did get blown up by a Thargoid during one of the buckyball races. That one where you had to get close to one. Anyway, it seemed to annoy this particular Thargoid, and it shot me. And that was that. I died.
It's all our fault.
Yeah.
It's Buckyball Racing Club's fault. That's what it is.
So I'm probably persona non grata with the Thargoids now because I booped one, and they shot me in retaliation. So I'm probably on their shit list now.
I know I'm always going to be on their poo list, is because basically that's how big I've shot so many scouts becoming elite.
I've never shot a Thargoid, but I've been shot by a Thargoid.
Yeah. Okay. Now, here's an interesting question about things, though. I mean, do you think that this is going to carry on until 4.0 is ready, so that they can get as many people involved with it as possible?
Yes. I don't think they're going to do anything huge until the Horizons players can also take part.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think maybe. Although it's an awfully long time to drag this out, but maybe even the November.
Oh no, I think that's far too long.
Because don't you? Here's the thing. I just think there's a possibility that this is like a Thargoid dropship that's going to release the ground troops that we hope might be part of the November update, and this would be a great way to deliver it.
You like getting Zerg rushed.
Back to your StarCraft again.
Yes, yeah.
But that is an awfully long time for people to be watching a star move very slowly across the skybox. So
yeah, I think you see this is the thing with that I had with the build up to update 13. I felt they started that process a little bit too early.
Yeah, and in fact, even was it Darren? It might even have been Darren admitted, or somebody admitted on the live stream, one of the devs, that they felt it was about a week too long.
That was Ben. That was narrative
that
team.
Was Ben.
Right.
Yeah, narrative team. And I feel that. I mean, I thought that the Thargoids. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed the defending the capital ships against Thargoids. It's just that I felt that maybe it went on a little bit too long. And I'm scared that they're going to repeat the same mistake with this, because at the moment everybody's really excited. But if something doesn't happen with it in, say, a week or maybe a couple of weeks, then people are just going to go, well, okay, it's a bright light in the sky. And I'm just hoping that it's going to unleash whatever it's going to unleash soon.
Well, all I know is I'll be 10,000 light years away when it happens, because I'll be on this expedition. I mean, it couldn't be timed better, really, or worse. Worse or better. It depends on your point of view, really, doesn't it?
Which is
But-
why I have 3 accounts.
I do. This is why I'll probably have to. If anything exciting starts to break out, I'll probably. The trouble is, my alt account is. I've kept somewhat pacifist, so he's only mostly harmless, and doesn't have much weapons. But that could change, I suppose.
Yeah, that is one of the reasons why I've got so many accounts, because I've got this fear of missing out. So there's one that's always in the bubble,
Yeah,
one that's
FOMO, yeah.
out exploring, and one doing power play. So yeah, it's God, I hate to think of how much time I would spent if I'd actually add all 3 accounts up. Oh, that's a bit worrying.
It's not worth it, Colin. Don't make yourself upset.
I won't admit that. I'll probably be proud.
Good.
So, we have to point out that this anomaly is now being tracked by Canon, and Canon have gone and created their own tracker, which is this fantastic 3D thing. Has anybody else seen this thing yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's so good.
Yeah. So we'll put a link in the show notes for people to actually track. I don't know what we're calling it. Are we calling the Tharg Star or?
I like Stargoid.
Yeah,
Stargoid. That's Stargoid. I think that's probably the best one. It's amazing how many arguments just get started about what they're going to call things.
Is it just
I
not
was calling it
Tharg
Space-
the Almighty?
I was calling it Space Butthole, but that one didn't catch on, so...
It does look like when a cat's walking away from you a little.
Exactly!
Oh, lovely.
Isn't LCU No For the Light One calling it Joe?
Yeah, yeah.
Unofficially, I think. I don't think that's sanctioned by Canon, but
Oh, okay. I'll ask.
Is he
about
the guy with the really sanctimonious voiceover voice doing on the Galnet News Digest? There's somebody from Canon who's got just the right Canon-ish voice.
yes,
I mean.
I think he does do that. Yes.
Yeah, it's superb. You got to listen to it. He did some stuff for Sagittarius Eye as well and it just sounded just like the slightly permanently miffed researchers having to deal with these bothersome journalists.
Oh, and I had to say also, I meant to say this. Of course, and then Frontier are calling it, or not Frontier, but Galnet's calling it a flare, which is an odd one because I've not heard a single other person refer to it as a flare.
Yeah, well, so far in the chat room we've got Albert, Thargy McThargface, and
Obviously.
Big Bertha. So yeah, maybe Thargy McThargface.
Steve.
Steve, yes. Yeah, there's not enough Stevenage.
No, you just start calling it Wayne next. Oh, dear. So yeah, that's.
But the whole thing about calling it, because if you think of it, talking about calling it the butthole of space. If you think of it, if it's really in Super Cruise, what it's actually doing is ripping space into your asshole. So I mean, it's quite apt, really.
Yeah, didn't they have an entire Star Trek episode where they found out that using the warp drive too much was destroying space time?
Yeah, they did. That's in the Next Generation, I think. I only know this because we watched it recently. But yeah, it's towards the end of I think Series 7 of TNG. I think this starts happening.
DJ Wiley says that he thought Sag-A was the butthole.
This is another Twitch channel that I'm having to constantly allow butthole appearing on. This is my life now. This is what I do. I just
buttholes to appear.
allow buttholes appearing. Ever since the anomaly appeared in the sky.
I didn't realise butthole was a banned word on Twitch, but
Oh, it absolutely is.
Twitch bans all sorts of weird words. What was it? I think that it was crow. The word crow or something like that. It banned. Because I typed something with the word. I thought, why is it banning that word? Why does the moderator need to approve my message saying such and such needs to eat crow or something? But anyway.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting one. I mean, where do you think this thing's... Yeah, well, we all know why it banned Scunthorpe. That's because it's a horrible place.
Yes.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. I know people in Scunthorpe. Anyway, where do we think this thing is heading? There are people out I think Canon has, or somebody has worked out that it will hit the center of the bubble sometime in November if it carries on its present course. But isn't it going to hit sort of Barnard's Loop and the Pleiades long before then?
Yeah, I wonder if it'll have any effects, because it's sort of, isn't it, sort of sidestepping systems a bit and skirting around them, and
Yeah, but once it goes through or close to a system, it does appear that first of all the high predictions go up through the roof, and secondly, you come across all these dead ships.
well, maybe that's the thing then. Maybe it'll leave this sort of trail of destruction in its wake, which will be the game. So the gameplay will be, really vicious Thargoid incursions in its sort of wake, and then that'll keep everyone entertained until November, when they can patch in whatever the big reveal is for when it truly arrives. Maybe.
Yeah.
When it turns up and destroys Sol.
Whole bubble is out.
Hey, we're having enough trouble with the EIC BGS as it is. We don't need the Thargoids to have their
Just reset it, start over. It's fine.
Destroy the moon or something.
Get rid of all of those pesky BGS groups that are no longer play the game, and you feel a little bit guilty when you try and take their systems from them.
No, we don't feel guilty.
Well, maybe I have a soul. But no,
we don't feel guilty when we take the ones that are still occupied. Well, we try not to do that actually. We do try and play nice with.
Oh yeah, exactly.
The last thing
the bubble.
We want to coexist, not something. So, as our new tagline says, we despite our history, we're quite nice now.
That's fair. That's adequate.
We're adequate these days. So, I mean, where would you like it to go? I mean, I'm hoping it goes straight to Merope in the center of the Pleiades and just wastes. We end up with a war, a massive dust up in the Pleiades, like we're having to fight for it to exist anymore.
I hope it turns up in the AEDC's systems in the Alliance.
Try and get Sirius to get their anti-Xeno ships out there.
Yeah, the Alliance needs a bit of a. They're too sanctimonious. The Alliance, so they need
a good kicking, according to you.
I'm making lots of enemies here,
or something like that. Yeah. What about you, Alec? Where would you like this thing to go?
I'm not sure. I was just thinking over. It's I mean, it's not very interesting for it to go to HIP 22460 because that system's, already interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would love it to go to Sol, actually.
Yeah, if it showed up in Sol and kicked some
it's a shame about the permit, I suppose, because that excludes people from seeing whatever content it's going to deliver. But if it weren't for that, I'd park it right next to it.
It's so easy to get the Sol permit, though.
I think if it's going to turn up in Sol,
yeah.
I think there'd be a big battle, and they'd say the need everybody gets a permit to be able to help
get into
rescue
Sol
in its hour of need. Or what was that other system? Where the turning the wheel was going.
Oh,
it was like that weird permit lock system with nothing in it.
Yes, you're right.
LFT something or other. I can't remember this, but it'd be interesting for instance that turning the wheel system, because that was like a possible dark wheel related system.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But we've got some suggestions here. I mean, T-Tauri, LFT 509.
Yeah, I think that was the turning the wheel system.
Yeah. So yeah,
I wrote an article about it as well, and I've forgotten.
I think it'd be just basically karma for it to hit T-Tauri, really, when you think about it.
I'd like it to go to T-Tauri. That would be great. Thank you.
So yeah, just give anybody who's left over from Azimuth a good kicking, and that'll be fine. Yeah, I mean, I'd love it to go to one of the capitals, not necessarily Seoul, but Any of the capitals of the powers would be good.
Who would the Thargoids identify as the central, source of threat? I wonder.
Maybe Azimuth. Maybe Azimuth as like a response to what's happened.
Oh, here's a horrible thought that Kitty Anna just said. One of the first Thargoid encounters which ever happened was in Lave.
I mean, she's got a good point. She's got a good point. It could be, oh my god, coming straight forwards. What I would like to see is it just going where everybody is expecting it to go. So HIP 22460. I'd love to see it just go past.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I really do. I don't care where it goes. As long as it just goes past 22460, that would be great.
In a way, it's a shame there isn't really a main central Guardian system. I mean, there's lots of them. I suppose they're in a bubble, aren't they? So it could be right. It'd be great for it to go right to the heart of that, and then kick off a sort of awaken the Guardian AI and kick off a Guardian Thargoid war. And it turns out it's not coming for us at all. We're like insignificant.
I think we've moved from insignificant to mildly significant.
Yeah, I think. Remember that.
Let's put a pin in this. Them saying that the Thargoids are like, let's just put a stop to this before it gets like Guardian proportions out of hand. We've had 200 odd years to learn from our mistakes. Even more than that. We've had hundreds of years to learn from our mistakes. These kids are new. Let's get them gone before they make matters worse for us. We've done this before. We don't need to do it again.
Yeah, I mean,
so Phoenix Blue says, "Oh, so we're a rash now." Yeah, we're like athlete's foot.
Absolutely, we're the dregs. We were so insignificant they didn't even give a shit that some of their ships were dying to some of us, and now something else has happened that's killed a lot of ships in one. And yeah, we're gonna put a little stop from that, please.
Yeah, the big Thargoid growl was definitely like oh, right, what the fudge? Right, now let's go deal with these people. It sounded like an awakening call. So
it sounded like an evil cackle to me.
Really? It sounded like a reaper to me.
It made me think of it was a Thargoid cackle, as now you're in one of those not a particularly nice sound, if you see what I mean, but not a haha we don't care, haha now you're in for it type of cackle.
How about the sound of a child running off going, "Mom"?
Now
these humans have
now
been
Mama
nasty
Bear
to
is
me.
now Mama Bear is coming and she's angry.
Did anyone when the cutscene dropped with the update? Am I right in thinking some people attempted to analyze the star constellations that we could see and determine what direction those Thargoids zoomed off in when we heard that growl?
Absolutely, they did.
Yeah, right. I'm just wondering whether, my little joke aside, whether that growl was literally the Thargoids going off to get what we're now seeing, what's now coming for us.
Literally, I've got no idea. I don't even know whether anybody actually did do that, but I'm just assuming that they would, because we have people in the game who would do that.
Yeah. I quite like that as narrative, the idea that at the end of that event, the Thargoids went to go and get Big Bad.
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing, because as Darren has said in the past, in the last Super Cruise News, is that whenever they do cutscenes now, they always point the camera towards the ground because they're scared of people working out wherever this cutscene is being recorded, because that's how the Guardian sites were discovered.
Yeah.
Which, it's one of those moments where you're impressed that they did it and disappointed at the same time. Yeah. So, I guess we'll find out what happens with this in, a couple of weeks. So, I'm going to wrap this up here because we have an awful lot to talk about in the community corner. And let's get the big one out of the way in the community corner, because we've got two people here who do not belong to the 1 Point Club. Scores are in. Scores are in for the Buckyball Racing Club's Mischief Mile. And someone's quite pleased with himself for some reason.
Oh man, it's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. We've worked really hard. I want to thank my trainers. I want to thank everybody who showed up. I especially want to thank my husband for refueling me on the way.
I forgot this race.
So good.
How could you forget it?
I don't. I just because I was going to do it Sunday, but the weather was really nice, so we spent the day outside, and I completely forgot about it.
Oh, horrible! Because basically, I mean, I'd been busy with real life getting in the way, unfortunately. So I haven't been able to do the last two, and I've been kicking the fact that
Well, you got to do the last one, Colin, so it counts.
Yeah. For the listeners who may be wondering what Sidekit was referring to there, the interesting thing with this race, which was called Mischief Mile, was sort of based around the fuel rats, was that you had to get some 300 plus light years across the bubble with a couple of stop-offs, one at Fuelum, which is the fuel rats' home system, and a couple of their sort of rescue hotspots. But you had to do the whole thing without a fuel scoop and with kind of restricted fuel tank size. So for a lot of ships, it was just the standard tank. Some ships, it was even reduced tank. So your options were to either make additional stops at stations to refuel, which is quite costly time-wise, or to get someone else to come and refuel you with Limpics, or if you're very multitasking oriented, then multi-box yourself. And it's interesting actually that very few people actually managed to get other people to refuel them. I suspect that buckyball racers are quite a solitary bunch in some regards, and and sort of like to do their racing in whatever hours they're online by themselves. And actually hooking up with someone to do a team effort. The trouble is we all sort of know each other as well, and so getting one of your competitors to refuel you is it's a complicated relationship.
I tell you what you need, Alec. You need a husband that plays Elite Dangerous as well.
Right. Okay.
Who will very, very graciously take some time out of his busy Sunday evening playing Elite Dangerous to play some Elite Dangerous.
Brilliant, because it was definitely the winning tactic, as Sidekit ably demonstrated.
And I could have done that as well. This is why I'm really kicking myself. I could have been in the points, and I could have been ahead of Sidekit.
Nah, mate. That's right. Aim high, but no.
Well, I did pick up some points in one of the other races. I managed to do all the shenanigans and got a really good time bonus, which means I'm not just in the 1 Point Club, which gets me about to the top. I had is there a picture of the? Yeah, there's a picture here. I think I'm in about the top third now. I think I'm in position. Let's see, where am I? I can't find myself.
Are you looking in the championship leaderboards? Yeah, regulation. You're 15th, which is pretty damn good, actually.
I'm not too bad.
Yeah,
So,
I'm definitely going to have to pull a miracle off, if I'm ever going to catch up with anybody else.
Well, you see, the thing is, the championship leaderboard gets interesting now because although we have 8 races, to give a little bit of leeway for people that couldn't make all 8, we're only counting your best 6 scores.
Ooh.
So a lot of the top scorers now have more than 6 complete races. So suppose let's take someone like Shay Blackwood, for example, whose lowest point score may be 7. He's probably usually come first, second, or third, for example. He can't gain much more. I mean, he could, if he manages to come first in the last race and get 10 points, he could use that 10 instead of his 7, if you see what I mean. So he can only gain at most 3 points now. Whereas people further down the leaderboard who haven't competed in all 7 races, or have only competed in 5 or less races, could still get a significant
The
points
1
boost.
point club, yes.
Yeah.
So all right. So I'm still in with a chance of not being in the 1 point club at the
No,
end.
you're going to be in the 1 point club, Colin. just aim to get 6 points and you'll be fine. I love you, Colin, but it's not happening, mate. I'm sorry. I've seen you attempt.
Harsh.
I'm just trying to set expectations.
Brutally harsh.
I'm trying to set expectations. It's fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, when is the next Buckyball race happening then?
So it's end of the month. I'm hosting this one. It's going to start on the 24th, and it's going to run through till Sunday the 2nd of October. So it's just going to tip into October.
I shall have to send my alt account in my place.
It's the only race where we're not measuring time but distance this time.
Oh,
I'm in with a chance then, because I'm pretty slow, but
So
a few distance.
So
Is
the
the
races
does
are
the Kessel run in 13 parsecs?
it's a rerun of a race I did a few years ago called The Last Gasp, and I'm changing the rules a bit so people can't just rerun their old 3304 routes. But the basic idea is that you turn off your life support, and then you have your 25 minutes of emergency oxygen to go as far as you can and get back to the start line without dying. And then your score is kind of the distance of the places you managed to visit.
Ah, right, I see. And of course, the usual bonus is about getting close to 1% hull.
I'm still thinking on. I'm tempted to keep it relatively simple, actually.
Oh, right.
But I'm not revealing all yet. There's a difference to the original race.
That needs to be
I
good.
will
Some
add.
shenanigans would be good.
I will add that I'm never ever flying in an engineered Corvette again. It was not fun.
Didn't enjoy that, did you?
It was not fun. I wanted to kill everything. There was no happy medium. I was so angry about it. Oh my god, I'd forgotten how badly that thing turns. Holy shit, what a terrible ship without engineering.
I'm sorry, that thing turns?
I know, right? It was hard enough.
Should try a cutter, unengineered cutter.
I would rather drink a pint of vomit, really.
I mean, that's an interesting lesson, actually, because I think Epiphus was saying the same, wasn't he, Psychic? That he absolutely hated it without
it. Was the worst. It was the actual worst.
Yeah. And I've heard this, I think, about a few ships, and I think it's worth, for beginners who've just got, they've been building up to get their first Anaconda or whatever, and they get it and hate it. I think there's a lesson there to stick with it and put some engineering on it, because I think a lot of ships are not that great until you've engineered them up a bit.
Tweak them a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so there's still everything to play for.
Some people, yeah.
Yeah, for some people.
There's some stuff to play for.
I'm just flying for honour's sake now. But it's. I must admit, I think we've got to applaud everybody involved in the Buckyball Club for putting on a fantastic event that's spread through the entire year. I'm hoping that we'll be able to expand on it next year, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, do you want to? I don't think we'll do this, but I had this brainwave today of next year doing a race called the 10-pin bowling championship. Which using bowling rules, so you can get a strike. So basically, if you get a podium place, that counts as a strike, and you get the scores from your next 2 races added on to this one, and you can get a spare if you come in the top 10, and you get the points from the next 1 race added on. But I
think I prefer the F1 rules to this one, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's a grief thing.
Yeah.
You love making it complicated, don't you?
I need a rest, but I think we'll do it again next year. It's been too much fun.
It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoyed running mine, and and I'm more than happy to be involved again. It's been awesome. Maybe not every month, maybe like every 6 weeks or so, something like that. Maybe space them out a little bit more, especially if like a lot of shit is happening
Every
as
month
well.
gets a bit much, doesn't it? as
Yeah,
you
it's
keep
like,
going.
oh my god, we've got another week to do buckyball stuff.
Yeah.
It's not too bad considering you can miss 2 of them.
Yeah.
So
I
if
mean,
stuff is happening, you can miss a couple without, because it's it's your best 6 of 8.
Yeah, I mean, if you're super competitive, obviously you want to do all 8 to get the best 6. But yeah, you're right. That was the idea, that you could miss. Could miss a few.
Or accidentally forget one altogether.
Right, well, we're going to leave the buckyball for the moment and start talking about expeditions. Well, we've got the Formidine Rift expedition. Now, that is in progress at the moment. On September the 3rd, the at Delphi, they'll launch an expedition into the Formidine Rift. The carrier, Cat Cosmos, Glopi, will serve as the base for the entire duration of the expedition. So if you want to catch up with them, they're probably about 500 to 1,000 to 5,000 light years away by now, but still possible to catch up. And it's going to serve as the base for the entire duration of the expedition. The primary goal is further exploration and mapping of the sectors around the Formidine Rift. Equipment will remain offline during this voyage, so please make sure that your ships are already fully equipped for exploration. The shipyard will be online for the duration, and the planned route also passes through some stellar nebulae and places of interest. Additional requirements, tritium donations are welcome. So I do believe that lasts a couple of weeks. So there's still about 9 days left on this expedition, which is in progress. Now, Mac, the EIC, you have an announcement, I believe.
Yes, let me just go back. So I was talking about expeditions. Don't forget I mentioned it earlier, the passage to Andromeda. What was it called? Passage to Andromeda, which leaves on the 18th from Lave. But yes, the EIC, Operation Consolation. As console transfers are on the horizon, no pun intended, there will be those already on their Xbox PS engineering path and want to progress on PC, and those who may want a fresh start. Either way, East India Company would like to be there for everybody by offering free commodities to unlock Horizon's engineers in the bubble and Colonia for 1 month following the official FDev transfer date for all commanders, whether they are transferring from consoles or not. So anybody can do it. You don't have to be an ex-console. You can be anyone. So all you need to do is mention Operation Consolation when you place your order, and how to place orders is on eicgaming.com. It's on basically on our Discord. We have a setup for doing trades and whatnot. Any commander who wishes to help from EIC now and for 1 month after the official FDev transfer date by carrying out trades, partaking in loading parties, or supplying any goods for EIC will receive the tag Operation Consolation. And at the bottom of this message, the East India Company, despite our history, we're actually quite nice now.
Well, that's a bold claim.
Yes, yeah. It depends who you ask. If you ask some of the federal aligned groups, then perhaps they might not agree. But yes, if you don't know already, a long-standing EIC activity has been the trading post, where we traditionally, in the exchange for some sort of goods like palladium or whatever, we'll trade you with unlocked commodities for the engineers like Lave and brandy. So we have loading parties in Lave, so we to rebuild our stocks, and Fujian tea and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is to extend this to get as many people into who need to get started with engineering to get started with it, basically.
Yeah.
As a random act of kindness.
Well, on the other flip side of the coin, we also have the Distant Legacy Expedition, which starts later this month. It's going to leave from Peleni. Gonna take a bit of a shock at that. A shot at that one. Distance Legacy is a homage to the Distant Worlds expeditions of the past, and it is a final send-off for console commanders and the old 3.8 Horizons platform. We do have a link for the Rutan EDSM, so we'll put that in the show notes. And anybody who wants to join along, you don't have to be, I guess, it's not restricted to the older platforms, but still be able to meet up with other people there. In other news, we've got a CQC event happening on the CQC Discord. It's called Tactical Thursday, and they're doing a Capture the Flag event on Thursday, the 8th of September. Basically, it recommends that you use the GU-97 or the F-63 fighters, any weapons, any power-ups, and the place is at Horizons Capture the Flag arena. It will run from 6 to 8 UTC, or 1800 hours to 2000 hours if you want to use military stuff. So that will be running then. And finally, the Anti-Xeno Initiative. Hang on a second.
Bless you.
Oh, please tell me I didn't mute in time.
You muted, but I still had a little bit of it. It's okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's one for the edit. Oh, just be thankful I managed to mute in time. Right, the Anti-Xeno Initiative have organised a Finance Friday. Now, this is something that they try and put on a Friday evening. It's also could be considered good training if you're just learning how to be an anti-Thargoid pilot. Not there'd be any reason for you to practice. For more details, have a look at the Anti-Xeno Initiative Discord, and we'll supply a link to that in the show notes. Right. So, yeah, there's an awful lot going on in the community at the moment.
Dead game, innit? Dead game. No one plays this. Dead game.
Definitely. It's nice to see things have begun to pick up with community events in the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Right. Well, I know that we had a competition not so long ago. Unfortunately, we've only ever had 2 entries. So the poetry competition, we've got to sort that out between. Well, we're going to have to.
Did you get mine? I did send one.
I know you said you are the only one that sent it.
I can't. I don't even qualify because I already have the paint job.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then I'm afraid to say we're going to have to award it to Commander Holmberger because he's the only one that sent one in apart from yourself.
Well, that's right. It couldn't happen to a nicer person. He was my refueler in the race. So.
Was he really? Oh, that's amazing! Yes. I love that.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, it's always nice to see Commander Holmberg when he turns up on my stream on a Saturday morning because there's not many people about on a Saturday morning. So yes, we will assign the prize to Commander Holmberger at a later point. So yeah. Now we do have a little bit of any other business. Would like to wish the Chris Mark IV a happy birthday from everyone at Lave Radio because it's today. So happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. And does anybody else have any other business?
Hey, I do have a little tiny bit of other business.
Go on then.
Hey friends, this is a PSA. If you find something really cool in the galaxy and you're like, oh yeah, this is really cool, fucking share it with the rest of the community. This has been my TED talk. Thank you.
Dear.
It's not about anyone in particular. Just a thought, you know.
That's been brewing for the last 2 hours.
2 weeks.
Right. Well, we'll move on from
I'm out
there.
of the
then.
loop here. I don't know who's done what to who and failed to share.
I'll tell you later, Mac. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have it in the private green room.
Okay. One of those.
Yeah. Right. Well, I think we should do our shout outs for the evening. So while on team the Dex what? This makes no sense. Who wrote these things in the show notes? Well, the Dex Legacy is taking a well-earned break before Series 2. There's plenty of material to fill the void. So if you point your auto assistant at your favorite podcast app, including Spotify and Audible, and search for the Dex Legacy, you'll find it. And there's an extra bonus interviews with cast members and the writer Emily Inkpen. There's also a lot of bonus materials and merch at dexlegacy.com. All proceeds will go towards making season 2. Of course, our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, pop over to radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a bit of CQC action, yes, there is the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. And also we'll give shout outs to other Elite Dangerous podcasts, which is basically Flight Assist. Oh, she's all quiet. Okay.
Who that? Flight Assist.
I don't know.
We'll be back soon. We'll be back soon.
I was pausing for effect.
Oh. I was just being quiet because you were doing the shout outs, Colin. I'm sorry.
I was pausing for effect because you always jump in, but never mind. We've got the Guard Frequency who do other space sims as well, and of course, if you want the the hillbilly version of Lave Radio, we have the Loose Screws over there in America. I'm sorry, guys, but when you do something like the theme for Chig Chat, you do banjos no favors. Following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest that's provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And thanks to those who have chipped in the Twitch chat and the in-game commanders. Well, there haven't been any, unfortunately. So special thanks, of course, go to Commanders Tokuso, Jay Trax, and Alan Stroud, who created the music for this show. And that's it for episode 407. So you're right, I'm turning into a time traveller. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can email info@laveradio.com, hit us up at facebook.com/laveradio, tweet us at laveradio, and you can join our Discord server by going to discord.io/laveradio. You also have a TeamSpeak server where commanders come to hang out and chat, and you can find that at teamspeak.laveradio.com. Now, do get in touch if you have any questions or if you have anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Alec, thanks to Psykit, and thanks to Mac. And special thanks goes to today's tech specialist, Commander Ventura. So, until next time, Commanders, fly safe, and if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this?
Sounds like someone having an orange inserted into it. You need a safe word.
Space can be low.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
The Azimuth Saga, Part 7, The Ancient Weapon. In previous episodes, we described the discovery of the two Azimuth megaships, the Adamastor and the Hesperus. Both had been sent searching for alien technology 200 years ago. Both had met violent ends. The Aegis megaship Alexandria had much more recently vanished with a cargo of Guardian relics. And we also published 3 videos describing the unlocking of Hyford's cache and the discovery of Project Seraph, a seemingly unrelated initiative to allow human control of Thargoid scout spaceships. Now, though, we come to the core of the Azimuth Saga, the discovery of an ancient weapon and how Salvation developed it into the Proteus Wave. In June 3307, 2 months after the wrecked Hesperus was discovered, the ship belonging to the Azimuth employees who had escaped the Pharma-Sapien ambush was eventually located in Trapezium Sector YU-X C1-2 on Planet 1A. 2 logs recorded by Lieutenant Kellerman found near their ancient Anaconda, Proteus, describe what Azimuth was really trying to achieve.
This is Lieutenant Hugo Kellerman. I was Deputy Security Chief aboard the Hesperus, working for Azimuth Biochemicals. I've decided to resume my reports, even though the chances of us being rescued seem to be shrinking every day. After Pharma-Sapien's sleeper agents took control, I managed to get some of the science team off-ship using the Proteus. For the record, Private Adriana Velasco performed her duties exceptionally, and her family should be informed of her bravery. We only escaped thanks to her. I just hope she found her own way home. I wanted to set a course for an inhabited system, but Dr. Farrell insisted on investigating readings sent back by one of Azimuth's deep space probes. She believed that Pharma-Sapien would focus on all the probes that they'd sent into the California Nebula, but that we might find something interesting in the opposite direction. Well, she was dead right about that. There's no doubt that the structures on this moon weren't built by humans. Those strange arches and monoliths are over 1 million years old according to our molecular scans. Ackerman, the xenoarchaeologist, said it felt like he was walking through the ruined temples of forgotten gods. I just felt like a trespasser. We've also found even stranger things, half buried in the ground as if they had fallen from the sky, but these look more like starfish than starships, the sort of deep-sea creatures that you find on ocean floors. What the hell flew around in those? Farrell thinks that we're looking at an ancient battleground. The structures and starfish things are nothing alike, suggesting 2 totally different species. 2 intelligent races on the same world. Incredible. Both far more technologically advanced than us, but not so advanced that they didn't try to kill each other. This is exactly what Azimuth has been looking for, although I doubt they ever expected a discovery quite like this. Personally, I'm more concerned about surviving long enough to tell them about it. We've been here for 2 months now, living off recycled air, food, and water. The scientists have turned the Proteus into a research facility, and all that I can do is keep out of their way while they analyze their findings and test samples. They've almost forgotten that we barely escaped a mass slaughter. I spend a lot of time monitoring the sensors. If those Pharma-Sapien mercenaries found us, we wouldn't stand a chance. But I can't understand why Azimuth hasn't sent out rescue parties. Unless the sleeper agents sabotaged our beacons before they were dropped. Maybe they pre-programmed them to stop transmitting. I mean, if they did that, then nobody knows we're here. We're alone. Just us and the ghosts of the gods.
By luck or judgment, the Azimuth scientists had stumbled across what is still the only known planet with evidence of an ancient battle between the Thargoids and the Guardians. Unlike the Thargoid sensor that destroyed the Adamastor, the Guardian technology the team discovered here had real potential. But it didn't go well.
This is Kellerman. I've just given myself the last of the stimulants. That should keep me going long enough to record this. To tell Azimuth how we died. 3 days ago, I went with the survey team to the structures. Ackerman and Zhao had brought something to life. I saw this pillar rise up from the ground with a large crystal inside, blazing a brilliant light. After 1 million years, their machinery was still functioning. They fired up some kind of high-energy particle accelerator which shocked the crystal from its moorings. This didn't feel like archaeology to me, more like grave robbing. I should have known that there would be defenses, but the hover drones caught us by surprise. It vaporized Ackerman along with 3 others. I managed to destroy it eventually, but there were more of them gliding around the structures, and we got out fast. I offered to take the crystal back, thinking that the drones might come looking for it, but Dr. Farrell had already had her experiments ready to go. Weapons experiments. She told me that this was always the priority for both the Adamastor and the Hesperus. Locate non-human technology that could be developed for the military market. Azimuth wants to be the first corporation selling alien weaponry, which will make them much bigger than Sirius. That's all they care about. That's who I've been working for all these years. No better than Pharma Sapien, after all. A few hours ago, I was awoken by this intense blue flash. It seemed to come from everywhere. I thought we were under attack. Then Farrell came stumbling out of her lab. Her clothes and body burned, blackened, and dropped dead. The others started collapsing within the hour. I think there was some kind of radiation surge from the crystal that we stole. I tried to get the ship's drive online, but I'm too weak. Can hardly stand now. Pain in every muscle. Vision is blurred. My skin, like everyone else's. God knows what experiments Farrell was running, but now there's gonna be 3. 3 dead races on this moon. We shouldn't be here. Humans don't belong. If Azimuth finds us, please, don't find us.
The secret of that terrible weapon lay undiscovered for nearly 200 years, but Salvation, the mysterious scientist who had initiated the search for the Hesperus and then for the Proteus, could see the potential of the technology. He initiated a campaign to gather tens of thousands of the Guardian relics that had powered that ancient prototype and arranged a dramatic demonstration of its power in the Cornsar system. Secretly using Guardian technology to lure Thargoids to the system, Salvation issued a warning to the inhabitants to leave immediately. The warning made no sense, as the system had no history of Thargoid attacks, so the inhabitants stayed put. Hundreds of thousands lost their lives when the Thargoids attacked 2 days later. 6 days after issuing his initial warning of Thargoid attack, Salvation fired his prototype superweapon. It had an instant and dramatic effect, with hundreds of destroyed Thargoid spaceships littering the planets, and the rest driven off. Salvation used the technology again in 3 systems in the Pleiades in December 3307, and again in 3 systems in the Bubble, Didio, Novus and Sosong in May 3308. With each demonstration, the Federation, Empire and Alliance became more convinced that Salvation offered the solution to all their problems. The Bauman report condemned Aegis for incompetence after the loss of the Alexandria, and the superpowers finally shut the agency down completely. This was all building up to the announcement in July 3308 that Salvation was preparing an even larger version of his superweapon, which he called the Proteus Wave, and that he planned to deploy in the HIP 22460 system. But while all this was happening, things weren't entirely going Salvation's way. 2 events gave a new insight into who Salvation really was, and about his not entirely blameless past.